أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم وبه نستعين والصلاة والسلام على محمد وآله الطيبين الطاهرين. We have an abundance of ahadith that compel us and command us to being in a state of reflection and contemplation. In fact, many of us have perhaps heard those ahadith which tell us that reflection or contemplation for 1 hour is better than 60 or 70 or 80 years of worship, for instance. But what exactly does it mean to reflect? And what exactly does it mean to contemplate? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala states within the Holy Quran, سَنُرِيهِمْ آيَاتِنَا فِي الْآفَاقِ وَفِي أَنفُسِهِمْ حَتَّى يَتَبَيَّنَ لَهُمْ أَنَّهُ الْحَقُّ. He states that we have put on display our signs in the horizons, in the skies. The sun, the moon, the oceans, the rivers, the stars, these are all the signs of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And within your own selves, God states, that we, when we look in the mirror, or we, when we understand who the human being is, not only on a metaphysical level, but a physical level as well. If someone were to study the body and everything that needs to go right for us to be born into this world, or for us to wake up healthy every morning, perhaps we'd be amazed with just how much needs to go right, so to say, all out of the blessing and out of the grace of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He states, سَنُرِيهِمْ آيَاتِنَا فِي الْآفَاقِ. So we have put on display our signs in the heavens and in the horizons and within your own selves, within each and every one of us, such that it leads us back toward Him. The purpose of a sign as we drive down the highway is that it compels us, that it pushes us toward a particular direction, that it guides us to where exactly we need to be. That's why we look up at the signs on the streets when we're walking or when we're driving or whatever it might be, because it's drawing us closer and closer to where we need to get to. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala states that these signs on display that He has created are such that we get back to our ultimate goal, and that is Him subhanahu wa ta'ala. So it's important and imperative for us to truly reflect upon and to contemplate upon these signs that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has created for us, because they're all meant to be a means and a mechanism which go to Him. And we see this within the sunnah of the Messenger of God, Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wa sallam, that he would wake up in the middle of the night and he would perform the night prayer oftentimes outdoors. And he would look up at the stars and he would raise his hands in devotion and supplication. And he would state, رَبَّنَا مَا خَلَقْتَ هَذَا بَاطِلًا. That, oh Allah, you did not create any of this in vain, as he would gaze upon the stars. Subhanak, all glory be to you. فَقِنَا عَذَابَ النَّارِ. So save us from the punishment of the world beyond this one. Why? Because he would see just how small he was in his greatness in comparison to the massive universe. And undoubtedly, this universe was created as a result of the light of Rasulullah Muhammad. But he teaches us and he gives us a lesson and an instruction in terms of how to humble ourselves in front of God and how to reflect and contemplate most truly. Similarly, we know that it was the Prophet of God sallallahu alaihi wa alihi who would climb Jabal Nur and enter into the cave of Hira, and he would take revelation from there, that there he would contemplate upon the creation of God. And he would look up and look out of that cave into the skies, into the stars, see the beauty of everything that was around him, and just wonder truly how incredible Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is, and His power and His authority over all things. We are a people in our communities, in the culture, in the society that we live in, that are oftentimes so engrossed with looking down at our phones that we forget to look up. And again, I'm guilty of this more than anyone else, but perhaps these days are an opportunity to hit that reset button, for us to go out for a walk, but to look up as opposed to looking down, to think and to understand just how much needs to go right in this universe, such that we're able to see the beauty that we're consistently surrounded by. We've all seen the sun set. We've all seen the sun rise, just how beautiful that the scenic sort of element is, the changing of colors in the sky, which so often we take for granted. The Quran consistently compels us to not take that for granted and to look and to appreciate and to show some sense of gratitude to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that He has put all of that on display for us. Again, all of that is meant to be the sign that allows for us to be drawn closer to our destination. So when we recite these verses of the Quran, or when we hear the ahadith that tell us that contemplating for 1 hour is better than X amount of worship, because that contemplation, even for moments, it increases our knowledge and our ma'rifah of ourselves. We immediately humble ourselves, and at the same time we understand the magnanimity and the greatness of the Lord of the worlds. And it improves our prayers, it improves our worship. It allows for us to be better to those around us because we remind ourselves of our transience, how small we are in comparison with this massive universe that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has created. It has natural residual effects. The moment that we spend in contemplation and reflection can truly allow for these hearts to draw closer in proximity to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So let us allow for this holy month of Ramadan to be a month of reflection, a month of contemplation, a month where we appreciate the signs of God, and we allow all of that to draw us closer toward our ultimate destination, and that is Him, Azza wa Jal. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for tawfiq. Walhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. Wa sallallahu ala Muhammadin wa alihi at-tayyibin at-tahirin.